We've seen a huge increase in the amount of people inquiring about downsizing and what their options are. Let's discuss that. What are your thoughts on what you've seen, Nikki?
I think there's a lot of different reasons why people downsize. It could be for financial reasons, it could be for practical reasons, and also it could be the case of move before you have to move kind of thing. But perhaps looking at more the financial aspect first, tell me a bit more about what your thoughts are on those reasons why.
Yeah, one of the most common feedbacks we get is sometimes it's when children have flown the nest and gone to university and created their own lives for themselves. Some people are very practical and they look at it, right, we're paying for a house that we don't need, we're heating it, we may have a mortgage on it, we've got council tax and it needs upkeep. So sometimes that might be when children have gone to university, or sometimes you've got that emotional tie to the property. It can be a lot later in life, of course. But that whole time that you've got a house that is unnecessarily large, it's costing you money to upkeep, heat, and it could be an opportunity to spend that money on more interesting things.
So I think also for a lot of people, they've been living in the same house for many, many years and they've created so many memories there, but obviously those memories can come with you, and it's good to sort of look at the options, isn't it, in terms of what else you can do with that money and how you can sort of enjoy downsizing, really.
Yeah, of course, it's a real difficult emotional barrier. Like if you brought up your family in that home, you've lived in it for decades, of course nobody likes change and no one wants to do that. But the biggest feedback we get when people have done that, taken that journey, they wish they did it sooner, because of course suddenly they're freeing up a burden, it feels like a weight off their shoulders. And even we've had some instances where, with that leftover money, they've bought an apartment abroad, or they've managed to take their family on holidays and spend more time, more enjoyable time, and more new memories with their family that they wouldn't have been able to have had they not taken that step.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes to thought of getting old, but there are obviously that is gonna happen, and it might be that that home is just not practical to live in anymore. They may not be near the local town or a bus route, so it's good to sort of think about those things that you might not want to think about.
Yeah, and absolutely, and unfortunately it's better to do it before you're forced to do it, so where it's in your control, because again that's another feedback that we have, is people wish they'd done it sooner, because once if you had mobility issues, for example, it takes months to move, and that whole time it's uncomfortable, it's unpractical. People might be living in downstairs in the dining room or something. And had they been proactive and taken those steps, they'd be in a more comfortable position. And again, with those memories behind them, that they've been able to use that money for other things. Of course, there is another financial aspect.
I was going to ask you, is there another option?
Well, absolutely, there is equity release as well, because again, despite people maybe being very aware that it's sensible to move, there is that emotional tie that can be quite hard to break. So they might want a few extra years in it, but if their finances are, they're struggling to keep up with the house, we are seeing more and more inquiries about equity release, and that might be a short or a longer term solution.
Okay, and that's something I would obviously need to talk to a financial advisor or somebody financially qualified to advise me on that.
Absolutely, yeah. You need to seek a financial professional that has qualifications in equity, lifetime mortgages and equity release.
So it sounds like whatever reason it might be for downsizing, it could be a really exciting opportunity and sort of a good kickstart of a new chapter perhaps.
Absolutely. Again, the feedback is most people go, why didn't we do this sooner? Because again, going back to now they've got money that they can spend more time with their family or abroad on holiday, on cruises, and again, rather than just spending it on a house that they don't particularly need.